Georgia on the logo, celebrating back-to-back Nats. Perfection wears red and black tonight. 15-0, the Dogs have done it and won a second consecutive national.
Oh man, oh man, oh man, not again.
Lead flicker to get the night started. Downfield looking for Godwin, into his hands, and guess which Dogs are barking first? Uga, get after it. Sonny Michel will send the Dogs home to the championship game.
And Bobo throws that thing in the end zone, and
yes! Touchdown! Touchdown in the goal line!
Sigue Ringo, corta dentro, Ringo, touchdown! Georgia!
Georgia Bulldogs bludgeon their way to back-to-back. Glory, glory, Georgia, as the fight song says.
This is our love for each other. 1 + 1 = what? 3. We are better together and we are connected.
This is Robert Iron E. Singleton, a.k.a. D-Dog from The Walking Dead, or Alton from The Blind Side, and you are watching Respect the Hedges on the Fan Addict Sports Network. All right, guys, go Dogs, sick 'em.
What's going on, Dog Nation, and Respect the Hedges family? It is game week. We taking on the South Carolina Gamecocks this week, man, and we here to talk about it, man. But before we do, as always, we're presented by the Tailgate Kings. I know we always got special guests up in here tonight, every week, and tonight is no different, man. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get the show started, man. We're gonna bring our guest in, then we'll bring our host in, and y'all know how we do. We'll get to the recap of last week and then the preview of the Gamecocks, man. So first off, man, let's just talk about it, man. So if y'all haven't heard already, man, Creature Comforts Craft Brewing Company craft beer is the official craft beer of UGA Athletics. This was announced August the 9th of this year, man. Partnering the best craft beer in the Southeast with the best team in the nation. You know what I'm saying? So known for its classic city lager, you know what I'm saying? So this partnership just makes all kind of sense, man. So we got the CEO and the VP from Creature Comforts to come on and talk about Creature Comforts and some of the stuff that they do in the community. All right, man, let's go ahead and get this started. I'm gonna give y'all a little something here.
Glory, back-to-back Nats.
Everything that you have here hasn't been given to you, it has been earned. You are here because you are the best of the best at what you do. We're gonna continue to grow and push forward and be the absolute best that we can be. So I'm expecting everybody to head out this door and let's get ready to play football!
My moment of shine, I used to take it a day at a time. I used to wait, but I'm making it mine. Was at the bottom, but able to climb. And look how I rise up. At the top, you gon' find us. Looking refined, not how you define us. Can this beat get a moment of silence? This time with Father, I give it my all. I say my moment is now, no laying around. I put my stick in the ground, just so you know, ain't no mistaking it now. Forget what you make of it. Got my eye on the prize, I'm taking it. Got the fire inside, ain't faking it. And I'm turning the tide, ain't changing it. I'm the main event. This is my moment. I said this is my moment. I came here to own it. Man, this is my moment. Man, this is my moment. I said this is my moment.
All right, man. First up in here, man, we're gonna bring in the Vice President of Creature Conference, Mr. Fenwick Broyard. Did I say that right, Fenwick?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You
All
nailed
right,
it.
man. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Excited to be on here with y'all, man. Pretty hyped up, dude. I hadn't seen that commercial in a hot minute, so that was dope to get to watch you play that for everybody.
Well, I liked it when you guys got a chance to see it in person on the night down in Atlanta, man. I thought the people need to see that, man. That was a pretty hype video. Looked like y'all had a lot of fun making that video.
That was a cool moment, man. That was like a little cultural moment we got to create for our whole company. Everybody was invited out, and we broke the whole company up into the black team versus the red team and played a legit game of like two-hand touch on the field and went in. And all that was real. None of that was staged. Like Chris kicked the game-winning. Like at the end, we didn't do field goals after every touchdown, but at the end, we was tied at the end of regulation. So then they just like had him backing it up. I think that one he kicked, I think that was almost like a 40-yarder or something like that. So he put some leg on that one.
He did, and it was like right down the middle too. So
he iced it. He iced it. You couldn't have scripted it. It's like it almost looked like we made it up, but that legitimately just really happened. And I was like our whole company out there and his team holding him up. They picked him up spontaneous. That was just it was a cool experience we all got to have as part of the partnership.
That was, man. That was. So let's go ahead and bring in Chris, the guy that made the field goal, founder and CEO, 2003 graduate of the Honors College, and former athlete at South Carolina. Chris Herron, what's going on, Chris?
What's happening? Very good to be here. Appreciate it.
Hey, man, how you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling good. I'm with Fenwick there, man. Getting to watch that video, it gets me hyped up. And yeah, it was like you said, man, it was just an awesome moment. It was super cool. Really grateful to be here. Appreciate y'all having us.
Did you think you was gonna make the field goal right away?
I felt pretty good. about it. I was a soccer player at college. That's how I ended up in South Carolina because Georgia doesn't have a guys soccer team. So I was feeling confident until right about time to kick it, and then the nerves started coming in. I was like, man, if I miss this right now, everybody's gonna laugh. I was glad I put it through.
Oh, that's good, man. That's dope, man. So I was just a couple of questions, man, before we bring the fellas in, man, and go on with the show. So some couple of questions about Creature Conference. And both of you guys can jump in and answer or take turns. But what made you start the brewery and why Athens?
Yeah, so we started the brewery largely just to, one, it was a passion of ours. Craft beer was something we were all passionate about, me, Adam, and David, when we got going. And we had sort of this feeling that we wanted to build something different as well, a different kind of business in the community. Beer was just kind of the tool that we had. It was sort of what we knew how to do. But we wanted to build a business that, could make a difference in our community. We believe really strongly that good businesses are good neighbors. And we had a pretty good connection to Athens. I'm born and raised in Georgia. Adam and David went to school there. A lot of history in the location that we're located in downtown, and Athens had some community needs. So for us, it was it was just a culmination, kind of serendipitous. It's sort of a lot of our journey has been serendipitous. So culmination of things coming together. It all made sense, and it's been an incredible journey.
Okay, that's cool. So where did the name come from?
The name was originally the homebrew moniker that David was using. So when he was peddling his homebrew, illegally or legally, around town, and he come up with it because the original logo work with these creatures that a buddy of his drew, and sort of the idea that creature comforts, that beer is a creature comfort. When we kind of decided to move forward and really started, getting going with this, it really came to be this end of what we call our consumer journey, which starts with this idea that we want people to crave curiosity, because we think when you're curious about the world, it helps you uncover your passions. We then want to encourage people to bring those passions into their life. When you do that, you're happier. And when you're happier, then you can enjoy the creature comforts of life. And for us, this brewery was sort of the end of that journey. It really, in and of itself, it is our creature comfort. It's our happy place. It's that, that warm blanket or warm cup of coffee in the morning. So, yeah, it was a bit more of an internal name. We never knew we'd become as big as we've gotten. So it was just kind of for us.
Well, congratulations on the success, and glad you did choose Athens, man. So, glad of the partnership with UGA. How did the partnership come about with UGA?
Man, it's kind of funny because we've always felt like we've been a partner of UGA for years. They actually did a video like 2 years ago that their team did, talking about all the ways that Creature Comforts partners with UGA. So we've been working with them, whether it was ingredients, working with the U Garden for like really unique ingredients, whether it's through internships. We're a certified B corporation, so we worked with the B Collaborative out of UGA to help us with that process. And so it's kind of like, I think we all just sort of sat down one day and realized the only thing that we weren't really partnering in was athletics. And when we sat down and talked to the team there, things moved really smoothly. It never felt like anybody was, just trying to figure out a way to make it work. It was just really naturally integrated, and it's been awesome. I mean, it's been one of the coolest experiences. Could have never imagined when we were, 5 of us sitting on the floor of that brewery in Athens that someday we'd be partnering with UGA Athletics, and particularly with them back-to-back national champs here, right? So it's pretty awesome.
Exactly. That's right, man. And I definitely like the Go Dog Sip 'em. I thought that was pretty creative.
Yeah, shout out to Larry on our graphic design. Yeah.
So you talked about community earlier. Creature Comforts, I know, it has several employee-led impact programs. How do you guys go about prioritizing the community?
I mean, Chris, I don't know if you mind if I take this one, man. I mean, I would say, you asked the question earlier, like, why Athens? And I think one of the answers to that was that there was as much need in Athens as the company discovered there was. Like, from the very beginning, Creature was asking itself, how do we be a good neighbor? How do we be a good citizen? And to step into a community like Athens with the kind of poverty that exists in this college town, it was a significant commitment. And I think the company has taken it seriously since the very beginning. It was one of your founding pillars was community. Like, we were committed to this before we were making profit, right? So, I mean, like, Chris, you remember that first year, Get Comfortable, we raised $1,800, and we were so proud and so happy to be able to give $1,800 to a nonprofit. And then multiple years later, now you've got, multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars at your disposal with a couple of other business partners and the opportunity to really make a difference. And basically, I mean, the conversation Chris and I have been having for, I guess, 8 years at this point is, how do you take for-profit efficiency and apply it to the nonprofit sector? Like, I've worked in the nonprofit sector my whole career until coming to Creature, and I've seen some of the inefficiencies that exist inside of that, right? But working at the organization I was working at before Chris coming to Creature, Chris was on the board. We got to work together pretty closely, and we saw some opportunity, man. And there's some very clear problems that exist in our town, and we've never considered ourselves the experts. We've always asked other people to help us. We're not funding anything that's like a founder's project. Like, Chris is not saying, hey, I care about animals, we're gonna put all our money there. It's like, we've always said, what does the local data say we need to be working on? What's the most important thing we could be doing with the resources we now have, now that this program has grown and we have the ability to bring a significant amount of resource to a problem? What should we be working on? And so we've got the local government and folks from the university and folks from the public education, from the College of Education, and folks from across the whole university system, in addition to local elected officials, guiding us with our giving. Y'all tell us, we're gonna raise the money, y'all tell us where to put it, and then we'll work with the organizations to ensure that we get quality work done so that we can feel good about the money we spent actually making a difference in this town. And it's like that kind of approach where, like, we don't like to fail. So we set targets and we go after them, and we're gonna do that in every aspect of our business, and we're gonna do that in our community work, because we should be able to do that,
Yeah, and community work is always needed, and I'm glad you guys are taking part in that. And you mentioned Get Comfortable. Can you explain a little bit more what Get Comfortable is?
Yeah, I mean, so Get Comfortable is now our 8-year-old corporate philanthropy strategy. We started off raising money from the sale of a charitable beer and used those dollars to support the work of local nonprofit organizations. We used to have agencies just reach out and ask us for money, and we would sort of give it based on the strength of their applications. And then I guess about 3 years ago, we reimagined that process, and now we're like literally getting down to, what is the one thing we are going to focus on right now that we can invest in over an extended period of time, that we can measure today and see some improvement in tomorrow? And what should that thing be? And what the community told us in looking at the data, and especially coming out of the pandemic, was early literacy was one of the most important things that we could be working on. At the time, only 20% of our third graders were reading on grade level. And we were aware of statistics that were saying that those kids were going to be 4 times more likely to drop out of high school. and 80% more likely to end up having run-ins with criminal justice and all these other like downstream effects for these kids not being able to read at this crucial point. And we just kind of looked at that problem and said, man, like, what could we do something about that? Like, what if we took the resources we had and pulled together the right people at the tables and got the important conversations happening and funded a program to see if we could do something about that? And we're entering our second year of that program. After the first year, the data we got was off the charts. The data evaluator literally ran the numbers like 6-7 times sweating, thinking something was broken with the results that we got. So really seeing transformative impact working in the lives of these kids, and are already being talked to about this program as a potential like model for the rest of the state. So really amazing things happening in that Get Comfortable program right now. And yeah, couldn't be prouder of the work that we get to do at Creech. I tell people all the time, it's the best nonprofit I ever worked for.
Hey man, that's amazing, man. And we just want to say thank you for your work, what Creature Comfort is doing in the community, especially in Athens. Literacy is definitely an important part of the adolescent lifestyle, man, and all the things that you mentioned, that a lot of us grew up around, that you guys are trying to take a positive effect on. So we're gonna bring the guys in, man, because I know they probably got some questions and stuff for y'all, man. First up on the docket, man, is a former defensive back for UGA, man, Erik Robinson. We call him E-Rob, the man with the injury. What's going on, E-Rob?
What's up, fellas? Man, I have been sitting backstage just smiling uncontrollably. Look, what you guys are doing in the community it's so commendable, and I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm glad you guys are on our show. With that being said, I'm calling straight cap on that game-winning field goal, Chris. I'm calling cap on it. I know that was probably like take number 3. That was not the first kick. I don't believe I'm calling cap on it. Okay, now
technically it was the second kick.
We might have to run it back. Yeah, I mean, because I made it.
Go ahead, man. Tell the truth, Fenwick.
Only because I made the first kick.
He made the first one.
So we moved it back. And then I made it again when they missed, and so that was for the championship.
Okay.
It was head to head. He knocked the other cat off. Like, it was head to head. The other cat dropped off on the second one, and Chris iced it, and that was game. It was just like, all right, whatever. So yeah, no, it legit happened.
It was legit.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's right, man. Like me, UGA fan, another one, the coolest fan in the land, man. So I got Cal Pitts. Cool Cal is what we call him. What's going on, Cal?
What's going on, fellas? How you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good, man.
Chilling, brother. Living the dream.
Good. Living the dream. I like to hear it. So I just wanted to say, man, just it's a blessing, man, to have you guys on the show. It's really impactful because obviously we've heard of the brand Creature Comforts. I've been drinking it for a few years now, and so definitely familiar with the brand. But it's impactful to hear the things that you guys are doing in the community. So I want to commend the things that you're doing. And also, would like to know how maybe I could be a part of it. If there's some things that you guys need some help with some of the partnerships, I think our fan base would definitely love to know that.
Yeah.
I was about to say one of our viewers says, is there a way to donate online to like your Get Comfortable cause?
There is, yeah. So the Athens Area Community Foundation is the organization where our dollars live. We're not asking people to write us checks for anything other than beer. So all of our dollars go to that Area Community Foundation, which is a 501c3. They hold on to our money, and it's from and the other business partners and anybody who's contributing. So they can get in touch with the Athens Area Community Foundation. We have the Get Comfortable Fund there. So like, the third-party nonprofit organization based in Athens. We send them our money, and they manage hundreds of other people's money as well. So that's how folks could contribute, is getting directly in touch with them. In terms of helping, man, like
buy some beer.
Yeah, buy some beer.
Well, I've been helping.
Yeah, I've been doing my part. I'm telling you, man.
And tell your friends, Doug. Classic City Lager, man. Like that's the one. That's the one we want people bringing to the tailgate. Like every bit of that gets purchased helps us to do more of this work, right? We want to do as much of this work as we can. Like we are trying to change the game on early literacy in our community. I was just at a Chamber of Commerce meeting this evening. Like, they're referring to our work as the cornerstone of the workforce development strategy for Athens, because we can't expect kids to enter the workforce ready to work if they haven't acquired everything they need to across their educational journey. And if third grade is this like parting of the river where those kids either stay on track or go further and further behind with each year, if that happens at third grade, then we got to get out in front of that and catch them babies before they start going down that river and make sure they go this way. Because all the other interventions you put down there ain't gonna matter, because only 20% of them is getting over to that. The other 80% went that way, and you ain't got nothing down that stream. So we trying to get right at that like divergence and say, let's fix it here before we even think about what's going on further downstream, you know?
Mm-hmm. That sounds good. Another one of our cast members, man, former wide receiver and double dog. He was in track. Oh, let me shout out E-Rob. He was a double dog too. He played some baseball. My bad, dog. Mr. Thad Charlie Parker, what's going on with that?
Fellas, what's happening?
What's good? What's up, man?
So I don't know how we keep going back to this kick, but I think that red team. Listen, man, they know they had a ringer. They know they had a ringer. You can see the form, you can see everything, the follow through. So they knew they knew they
why they decided to have a kickoff. You know, I mean, I was just sitting quietly, but I was happy that they made the decision.
Okay. But one thing I do want to say about is what y'all have going on in the community, and I kind of what you said, I almost pretty much answered my question before I'm about to ask it, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. And I know it's only been like 1 or 2 years you guys have gotten that data back from the kids, but it would be interesting. I wonder if you guys have thought about just moving that model up incrementally from one age group to the next. Have y'all thought about doing that? Because those numbers are great. It'd be good to see how to react, with older kids.
So we honestly, before we would do that, the plan is to go out across the grade levels where we know it worked, right? Mm-hmm. Like we're working with second and third graders right now, and we do have the first year data back. The kids that was in our program was almost 4 times more likely than the unmatched kids to have grown at least 1 grade level over the course of the year. And some of them grew like 2 grade levels. We started the year off, we had 29 kids who was sitting in the category that the school district told us was the hardest category to get a kid out of, which was if you in the second grade or the third grade and you 2 or more grade levels behind in reading, they don't know what to do with you. We started the year with 29 of them, and we finished the year with 5 of them. So we was jumping babies out of what they told us was the hardest group to get kids out of. And we saw a 600% increase in the kids that was reading on grade level by the end of the year. So we got solid data, and the program looked like it worked. We just trying to all right, let's make sure we can do it twice before we go everywhere with it, right? And so right now we in 1 school for a second year. Next year we're gonna be in 3 schools. After that we're gonna be in 6 schools. After that we're gonna be in 9 schools. I've been telling people it's the most benevolent pyramid scheme ever devised. Hey,
Mr. Broyard, I need to get with y'all before y'all patent it.
Man, we're just trying to do, again, it's on everybody's mind right now. Like it's coming out of the state house, the governor and them signing new legislation. Everybody talking about third grade literacy, like the writing is on the wall. So we was just like, all right, cool. Like we was already working on it. We got something that worked. So now they're starting to reach out to us, and like folks from the Department of Education just reached out to us, asked for a meeting next week, because they're like, if y'all got something we could take statewide, we trying to do that as fast as we can, right? So those conversations already starting to happen, which is kind of crazy. I mean, that's what Chris and I laugh about all the time. It's like, how's this little brewery in Athens going to be developing a literacy program that is getting rolled out across the state? Like, that's just, how did this happen?
Hey, I'm in social services, man, and that just make my eyes and ears just go ding, 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 ding. So that's why I'm so excited to hear about it. Thank you, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, dude.
I know the answer to Fenwick's question. The answer is you hire people like Fenwick, and Matt Stevens and Allie before that, and Madeline, and the people who, making a priority is one thing, but then getting people who know what to do and how to do it is another thing, and finding people who are, as invested as Fenwick was in our community. That was I remember sitting down with him and being like, all right, man, I need you to come work for Creature Comforts, you know, and what do we got to do to make that happen? And it was great. And that's really that pivot that he talked about in terms of 3 years ago. That's when Fenwick came on and joined. Prior to that, he was involved, sat on the board. He's been involved in this from the very beginning. But, you know, getting good people, and it's, you know, a good team of folks, and having a culture of community that cares. So, you know, that's a big piece, but 93% of Creature employees have done community service so far this year. So, you know, out of our 130 or so people, it's not just kind of like, oh, we do this program and we give some money. It's really about getting people involved. Our blood drives have done, I think it's like 385 lives, you know, that have been saved through the blood drives that we organize, both that our employees participate in as well as others. We adopt the highway. So we finally got our sign. If y'all are getting off at the Chase Street exit, you can see the Creature Comforts have adopted the highway exit. It's the cleanest exit in Athens. Killing it out there. You know, just try to do good stuff. And then, you know, from the sustainability side, and we got Jacob over there who's running that. If I'll take any credit as a leader, it's just in trying to hire good people, you know, and then get out of their way.
That's what's up, man. The last one of our co-hosts to come on, former wide receiver, Mr. Corey Allen. What's going on, CA? Oh, you got to unmute yourself.
You're on mute, bro.
There you go.
Come on, man. You're supposed to be a vet.
I got the quarter in. Well, you know, I'm so busy listening and enjoying the show because, you know, I'm proud to drink that Classic City Lager, you know, hearing about the contributions you guys are making to the community. So, Chris, stand by that kick, man. Don't let these guys knock you down.
No, I know.
You did do a good job with Fenwick.
Plastic City on a gold medal. It's a championship.
There we go.
I'm championship winning kicker. Now
we go.
Stand on it, baby. That's what I like. Stay with your chest. That's a common theme around here. And Fenwick, I really enjoyed listening to you. It sounded like a great infomercial that I really want more of, to hear exactly what you guys are doing and the opportunities that you have, especially in giving more to the literacy in the community. So I really want to champion that and really salute each of you. You can hear the passion. And I think hearing that passion is what's common, whether you're in South Carolina or in Georgia, you know, understanding what the community needs and responding to that. Again, I want to tip my cap to you both. And I'm excited about what's to come, knowing we got an event tied in this Friday.
Yes, Friday. Yes, sir.
That's right. That's right. So that's
like
right.
That
so
segue,
I like that. Appreciate you, CA. So just like CA said, man, listen, Creature Comforts Brewery in Athens, 271 West Hancock Avenue, this Friday, man, September 15th from 3 p.m. to 5.
We're going to be in the building.
Listen, man, we want to thank Creature Comforts for allowing us to bring our show on the road live and, you know, mix in their crowd with our crowd. So if you ain't doing nothing, or if you are and you can cancel it, you around the Athens area, make sure you get out to Creature Comfort. We're going to have a good time this Friday, man. Talk about some football and taste some beer. That's what we're going to do, man. So,
yeah, man.
I appreciate it.
It's going to be a war of attrition.
That's right. Go Dogs. Simple. That's right, man. So, hey, man. So listen, I know I told y'all, you guys, I was only gonna hold y'all 30 minutes, man. Y'all more than welcome to stay on the show, man, and talk some football with us. We definitely want to thank y'all for coming on to the show, telling us about Creature Comforts, origins, and the good things y'all doing in the community, man. And we look forward to doing many more things with Creature Comfort, man. So we appreciate y'all.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. I will not. I'm not going to embarrass myself by staying on and talking football with y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it to Chris. You know, championship winning.
No, talk that gold and purple. No, talk that gold and purple now.
That's a smart man.
I'm like, I got to get myself out of here, man. Let me. I will say though, man, just for y'all fans to be aware, like, you know, obviously we excited y'all coming and doing the show on Friday. In addition to that, Harry Dog is going to be on site from 6 to 7, and we got the Red Coat Alumni Band from 5 to 8 that's going to be there. We got a couple of food trucks every time. And also, we're going to be giving away 2 tickets for the South Carolina game from 4 to 7. So anybody in the tap room between 4 and 7 is going to be eligible to win 2 tickets for the game. So just putting that out there too. If somebody wants to come, we're going to be choosing that at random based on bar tab. So
I'm gonna be in the tap room, baby.
I like it.
Come check us out.
That's right, man. Come out and get
My
your
name
bar
in the
tab
hat.
going so you can get your name in the hat for 2 tickets to the South Carolina game on Saturday. Again, thank you, Fenwick, for coming on, and we'll let you go ahead and bow out gracefully.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate
All right, man.
Good work.
All right.
I feel a little out.
All right, Chris.
At the moment. But that's all
Chris,
right.
I hear the fight in your voice, though. You're an athlete. I hear it in your voice, man.
Yeah, come on, Chris.
I hear the competitive nature. I hear it.
He's still a Gamecock.
At time, yeah. So I tell it, when we did this UGA partnership, in that video, I got the Georgia shirt on, trying to hype everybody up, and I got a lot of calls from a lot of friends.
I bet.
I try to remind you, y'all, I'm a Gamecock and a businessman. You know what I mean?
There it is.
Talk to him, Mike.
It's all right with me. I was born and raised in Georgia, so I was a Georgia fan first. But I am a Gamecock. I tell everybody, we don't have much chance of being a great team, but we always got a chance of beating a great team. And so that's the way they think about stuff. And they did it last year, right? Tennessee, Clemson at the end of the season there. Did not look too good against North Carolina, but pulled it together a little. And I think Rattler is he's dangerous. If he gets going and Leggett and they figure something, they could get sneaky. But I do think UGA will probably wear them down over the course of the game, and it will end with a UGA victory, which honestly is better for business because we're not going to do it. So it's better. We're better off to have Georgia win this one.
That's right, man. Before we dive into the Ball State recap and more on the South Carolina, Georgia, man, y'all know what time it is. It is time for Where is Heena Hiding? So Heena,
here we go.
Oh, let's see. Where is she? Look at the
Game 2, let's go Dogs. Can you guess where I'm at? If you've been on campus, you're going to know. Going up there
Like
next.
Tape
All right, here we are. Respect the Hedges. Corey Allen, Thad Parker, all your boys from back in the day.
Easy.
Question.
Yes.
With us playing a vanilla offense, what do you think about Carson Beck? I know we played a vanilla offense, but I want to know what your thoughts are.
I think if Carson can step out and really take control of this team and get comfortable with being quarterback one, he's got all the tools to be as good as he wants to be.
Oh, I love it. How does he compare to you?
He's bigger, faster, stronger, all of it.
I love it. Any emerging players we need to look out for?
AJ Harris, CJ Smith.
Love it.
Keep an eye on those two.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Go Dogs.
Go
Always
Dogs.
good to see you.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
That's big time.
You know I can't miss it.
Look at his access.
I love it. I love it.
Hey, I'm getting chills a little bit. I don't know.
Let's go.
Feel like you built on it.
Yeah, man. Hold on. Almost felt like it was Saturday. Row one of the Hedges.
Yes.
Shout out to the production team.
Shout out. Exactly.
Shout out to Heena for the
nice
good footage.
access.
You know what I'm saying? The footage, our own campus correspondent, she's bringing us that footage from the home games every time we have a home game, man. So, all right, man. Now for the good, the bad, the ugly, man. The Ball State game recap. Who wants to dive in first? E-Rob? Thoughts on the Ball State game?
Yeah, another snooze fest. Nothing really to, I don't know. It's pretty boring. But the thing I was really happy about was the defense causing turnovers and getting the ball. You know what I'm saying? That's a habit. We need to create that as a habit. Get the ball. So I think we had like 3 or 4 turnovers. I just want to see that. More importantly, cupcake season is over with. So we're going to play a good team this weekend. Let's just see if we can keep that trend going.
That's right. I think I like the O-line looked a little bit better. Again, is really vanilla. But I A couple of the guys I like, Marcus Roby-Jackson being back. You know, those wide receivers blocking on the outside. It definitely improves when he's on the field. CA, anything you want to recap from the Ball State weekend?
Not a lot, to be honest with you. I feel the same way E-Rob does as far as, that wasn't really much for me to take from that. I got no game plan identification. I'll tell you what, I want more from my quarterback. Let me just be honest. I want to see a little bit more passionate leadership as far as taking control of the game, taking advantage of those assets on the perimeter. I like what I got at the receiver spot as far as personnel. Let's use them. Let's stop hitting guys and taking them out of stride. Let's find the open receiver a little bit more consistently, and let's make sure we're in the right play, because I think that has a lot to do with the run game success. So to be honest, I'm just looking for, what do I have in my quarterback? I didn't find out in the first 2 weeks. This is going to be a great job, an opportunity for him to get identified. But I didn't learn a lot from Ball State. I wasn't supposed to. I'm really just looking for the guys to come out of there healthy. This is when we really get a chance to find out who we are. So last week, Coach, to be honest, it wasn't a waste of time, but it really didn't give us an opportunity to do anything aside from continue to celebrate back-to-back national championships. The season starts this weekend, and it'll be between the hedges. So we get a chance to really see.
That's right. I think you hit on something important. I've always thought Carson had the physical tools, but that passionate leadership you mentioned, that's what I'm waiting to see. And hopefully we'll get to see some of that now that SEC play is coming in. Thad, any thoughts on Ball State before we move on to the Gamecocks?
Yeah, man, what I would say is this right here. I think, we're making this pie very slowly. I saw improvements in a whole bunch of places that I didn't see in week one. The main thing that I saw that I really liked was, in the last week show, I talked about the way the offense looked, the style of offense we ran. I don't know about y'all, but I saw Todd Monken last week.
Yeah,
I saw spits and spits of Todd Monken. And to be exact, there was a play where we had twins on the right side and twins on the left. On the right-hand side, we ran a double dig, 2 digs, about 12 and 15-yard digs. Then we ran the tight end on the wheel route and the number 2 guy on the post. That's Todd Monken play, literally. Todd Monken play. I saw it literally about a year or 2 ago. Todd Monken play. So I was happy to see that. And for people, who all had all these questions, we are still running, very similar offense. We're just not showing anything right now. We're very, very vanilla.
Yeah.
And to the point that CA just made about the quarterback, I want y'all to remember this. Y'all remember a couple of shows ago, and we was looking at his highlights, and I was like, wow, look how he threw the ball, and he helped the receiver out by throwing on his back shoulder and then leaving. And that was great for that play. But I've been seeing a whole bunch of that when it ain't even needed.
Yeah.
So that's just something else I noticed. Yeah, man. So that's something else I noticed, just being very analytical. But with that being said, I think we building, and to you guys' point, I think we will see a little bit more out of Carson Beck from the leadership standpoint.
Yeah, and shout out to Graham Coffey on Twitter, man. Something that Thad said, he broke down the plays that Mike Bobo has called here at the beginning of the season, and it literally, the formations and the play calls have been 80% Todd Monken, just like he did in 2022. So shout out to you for noticing that as well. Cool Cal, you can wrap this thing up, man, and then we'll start talking about the game. Cause any takeaways or anything from the Ball State game?
No, kind of along with everybody else, man. We're saying the same things. Everything's very vanilla. Best way I could sum it up, man, it's kind of like, you remember when you was a kid, man, and on the Tuesday or Wednesday, your mama might make some chili dogs or something, man, give you a little bag of chips and Kool-Aid. But when Friday came along, you might get some pizza, some wings, some sodas, you happy. That's kind of how this game was, man. It was like that hot dog on the Tuesday with that Hormel chili on top of it, man. It was just kind of something. It was, I'm just telling you, it filled you up. You was able to go to bed. You weren't hungry, but at the end of the day, it just didn't fully satisfy you.
I got
so this week we're gonna get some of that pizza. We're playing the SEC team. We're playing a team that's got a lot more talent, a team that we actually really have to wake up for, if we're being honest. And so I think we're going to see a lot more of those questions that we've been asking this week about Carson Beck. about the running game, about the offensive line. I think this is the time where we're going to start to put it together. And so I'm just looking forward to seeing what we got this Saturday. And I think it's going to tell us a lot about what we got this season.
That's Bill Shelby say, not the Hormel chili metaphor. Hey, that guy say, what a comparison. That was spot on.
Yeah, that was
more.
pretty good.
Hey, man, like y'all all been saying, man, pretty vanilla, doing what we had to do. Not a whole bunch of injuries coming out of these past 2 weeks. Javon Bullock did go down with a slight ankle injury. Kirby said he won't know more until Wednesday on him. Dejan will be a full go this weekend, and Ladd is day-to-day. So now we can jump into talking about South Carolina. So, Chris, how you felt about South Carolina up until this point, y'all? Y'all lost a tough one to North Carolina up in Charlotte, and then you played a really good, one of the best FCS teams out there in Furman.
And this not business, Chris.
Yeah, I think they look pretty good. No, look, the first game was rough, right? Offensive line was completely struggling. Rattler still looked good. He just couldn't get any time. But the second game, they came out and they played a lot better. Rattler was, 25 for 27, so he only missed a couple passes. We've got Leggett making big plays downfield. I think the Gamecocks, it's going to come down to how quickly they get into this game. They're 12-1 under Beamer when they're winning at half. And Georgia has come out very slow the last 2 games. And so if South Carolina is able to do something to throw them off quick and maybe, make Georgia just kind of wake up for a second and get lulled into a sleep early on, maybe, just maybe, they can get into halftime with a lead and then figure out some sort of miracle. But they're overmatched in this game, across the board for the most part. But they definitely have they've got some opportunities to surprise people.
Yeah, and to speak to that Spencer Rattler, I think he's 55 for 66 on the year, like 80-something% or something, and no picks to this point.
698 yards.
698 yards. Xavier Leggett has been his number one target because Juice Wells isn't 100%. Talking to some of my South Carolina friends, we don't know if he's going to be 100% or not. But nevertheless, we got to play the people that steps out there. So, Cool Cal, man, what you think the Dogs need to do this week to come out like Chris say, hey man, jump on these Gamecocks early?
Biggest thing is that was spot on. We gotta wake up, come out the game, and I think with the competition, this being SEC play, I obviously think we're gonna have a different game plan. We're gonna show some things this week. I think we're gonna start to hone in on the rotations. I think things are gonna get tighter. I don't think we're obviously not gonna be flip-flopping offensive linemen in the second quarter and doing all of those things. And so I'm looking to see who's going to be able to step up and who's going to be there for the long run. What I'm most interested to see is who are going to be the rotation of backs. Because I like the way the young kid Robinson's been coming on his touchdown run. I kind of saw something special there, how he hit the hole, how he jumped over the guys. Felt like he had a really good feel for the ball. And I think that he's going to be a guy that's going to be tough not to give him some more touches. I would also like to see how we're going to use Dylan Bell a little bit more. It's, again, another guy, when he gets the ball in his hands, whether it's in the backfield or whether he catches a pass, he's electric. So I'm kind of interested to kind of see how those things are going to come together with McConkey hopefully being able to come back this week, and just kind of see how it all opens up and to see who's going to be the big contributors this year.
That's definitely spot on. Robinson, the freshman, is averaging 6.3 yards a touch. So that dude is actually, coming into his own. And I'm glad you brought that run up. That run, like he definitely looked like he was like, okay, I'm here, I'm ready, and I'm comfortable at college now. You know what I'm saying? It's like just his body language almost. I don't know the way he was moving because before it was almost like seats. Yeah.
You run different.
and wait a minute, he's what, like 240 now?
He's 240. Yeah.
Kid is huge.
Really?
He moves though. He be moving though.
Yeah, he's a big guy, man.
Yeah, he's definitely a big guy, man. So, Shawty, what you want to see this weekend from the defense, man? I know we've had a lot of, we played pretty, steady. But what you want to see this SEC play now? You know what I'm saying? This ain't Ball State, UT Martin.
Coach, I'm gonna tell you what, man. This jack position, I really want to see a lot more out of that jack position. We got some guys that's rotating right now. I think we got maybe 3 guys, possibly even 4, to be honest, rotating at that position. I would really like to see Marvin Jones take over, but I don't know if he's just not fully healthy, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But I really would like to see that jack position start to make plays, because I think that's one of the most important positions on the team, other than the star, in my opinion.
Who's starting at jack right now?
Starts the game out. Chaz Chambliss starts out. Marvin Jones Jr. plays a little bit. Darren Smith has had a couple of pressures, and then number 29, Harris.
Harris got some more bricks in his pocket, man. He's just still a little light. You know what I mean?
He flashed
a little bit though.
He need to put up somebody's Sunday dinner table.
Once they get their hands on him, it's over.
Yeah. E-Rob, I wanted to ask you specifically, man, about some of the coverages. Like not nothing big, man, but there was a couple of times the inline tight end kind of got us, with a little smart dig route. You know what I'm saying? It's like we didn't get there quick enough, and they got an easy first down.
Yeah, again, it's a snooze fest game, so I'm not gonna really dig too much into it. But really, what I want to see going into this game, it's not even somebody on the field. My thing is Will Muschamp is what I want to see, because I want to see how this defense is going to evolve. Because in 2021 we attacked. Last year we were more kind of bend, don't break, kind of a little less attacking. Now I want to see what's the evolution of this defense. You got most of these guys back, so are we we're going to be somewhere in the middle? Are we going to attack? What are we going to do now that we're playing? We're out of cupcake season. We're playing a real team. How are we going to dial it up? Because I think, in my opinion, how this game is going to go, our defense is going to have to hold us down until our offense kind of comes around and kind of hits its stride. So I want to see how we do that.
I got you. CA, like I said, I had mentioned earlier, Marcus Romans-Jack Saint being back, help that perimeter blocking. What you need to see out of these wide receivers this Saturday against an SEC opponent, man?
I need to see the quarterback get them the ball. On the defensive side, though, I really want to see us create pressure with 4. That's going to be imperative. Spencer Rattler, we can't allow him to have those scramble plays. So I think it's important that I want to see somebody identify themselves on defense. I need Michael Williams or somebody to have a 2-sack game. And let's go ahead and put your name in the paper and identify yourself as a dog, because this is when it's time. This is when the stage is biggest and the lights are brightest. So I'm really looking to find out who on defense wants to separate themselves from the pack, because we got so many guys that we call a lot of names, but ain't nobody did nothing yet. I think this is really a great opportunity to see who's ready to step up. So I'm anxious to see that on defense. The wide receivers actually look to be ready to play their role. I think they went through a lot during training camp. I had my doubts all throughout camp, especially because I hadn't seen it. Now watching them execute, looking at the effort made, looking at what the game plan might bring, I think what we're going to find out is what we got in these coaches. I think this is when we'll get a chance to see what these coaches really are and want to do, because the table is still set. You've got all your weapons available. You've been unidentified to this point, and now it matters. So are we going to create pressure with 4 or 5? Are we going to run the ball out of a shotgun set? Or are we going to line up and just try to grind this clock out because we know we're bigger, stronger, or faster? South Carolina's a formidable opponent, so I'm anxious to see what the game plan is. That's what's going to dictate how we look. And I think the players are ready, but we got to put them in these positions to be successful. And what the coaches decide, that's what I want to see. How do we go about offensively slowing down South Carolina and Spencer Rattler? How do we go about attacking a defensive team that allowed North Carolina to have so much success? So, I'm putting it on the coaches. I think the players, right now, it's an old saying, you either should get off the pot, baby. And I think we're ready to go ahead and put some down. So, I'm anxious to see it. But I do want to see how the coaching game plan impacts what we do coming out of the blocks, because a fast start is imperative.
That's right. And shout out to Shelby saying Makai Muse. Listen, man, Makai Muse has been good on special teams, especially.
I like him.
Listen, man, shout out to Coach Smart, man. Listen, Makai Muse is another one that's a walk-on, man. Yeah, Stetson started as a walk-on. Dan Jackson playing a lot of snaps at safety the past 3 years. Walk on. Like, listen, man, it's not just the 5 stars. I know people like to say Georgia got all the 5 stars in the world. We do have a lot of 5 stars, but we do have a lot of 3 stars and no stars and walk-ons that actually contribute. And shout out to Makai Muse for he say, listen, man, I don't care if I get the ball once. If I get the ball twice, I'm gonna make something happen at some point in time. It can't be denied, man. So
we gotta give him a package or something, man.
Yeah, kid's player.
He got a package.
He hungry.
I got one last request. I got one, I need Dylan Bell to change his number, man. I can't handle that 86 out the backfield but for so long. Like, switch it up, man. Dance with something better. But
everybody got all the numbers, man. You see, man. Go. Everybody got all the numbers up, man.
See, they gonna want a piece of that NIL. They like to leave, baby.
I tell you what, somebody gonna have to come up out of that jersey because a certain number of touches warrant a certain amount of cachet. That's all I'm saying.
That's right, man. That's right. So our resident
he out there looking like a Monty Toomer.
He is, right? So our resident South Carolina fan stat guy says, luckily we kick all our kickoffs through the end zone. They do have one of the best punters in the country, if not the best. He said, but Makai Muse is special. I wanted to ask Chris, so you got a coach, man, who's known, for the special teams and the gimmick plays, Beamer ball, what they call it.
Beamer ball.
Me and Stat Guy talk a lot of times about how many gimmick plays he calls per game. Are you a fan of the gimmick plays? Or do you want him to limit it? Or last year, the first time they had to punt, he faked the punt, threw it for a first down. I mean, it didn't turn into nothing, but he did it exactly the first time. So how you feeling about Beamer ball down there?
I mean, I'm a fan of it when it works. I love it every time it works. I tell everybody how great it is. It doesn't bother me. I think where South Carolina is at in its program. If we're University of Georgia, I would probably not want to see so many gimmick plays. But that's not where we're at, and we got to try to find ways to create opportunities to score and catch people off guard and do something unique, and so I think that, it gives players opportunity to get excited and motivated when it works. It can create some good uptick in momentum for them that they need, and so overall, I think he does it. I think it's the right amount of gimmick plays for where we're at as a team right now.
I got you. And I'm kind of on that, man, just what I want to say. I'm like, see, man, I want to see what the coaching plan is, the game plan is this weekend. I know we're not going to unfold the whole playbook, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot more aggressive in the early goings. That's what I want to see. Yeah, and one of y'all, I forget who it was, hit on the Will Muschamp because Will Muschamp is more of a cover the people guy instead of getting in the quarterback face. But we may need to this year because of the inexperience at the jack position, as Shawty had brought up, to manufacture pressure, because we got, listen, one thing I say, man, you ain't going to move us at the point of attack. We might not have the Jalen Carters and the Devontae Wyatts and the Jordan Davises just to manhandle 2 people and get in the backfield, but you're not going to move us at the point of attack. So I would like to see some kind of blitz package for some of these guys, man, so we can get back there in the backfield. People in the comments, go ahead and get your score predictions ready, and we're going to talk about the score. Okay, go ahead. Okay. Get your score predictions ready, right? E-Rob is talking, and then we're going to start talking about what we think on this 27-point differential. Go ahead, E-Rob.
All right, so Chris, I got 3 questions for you. Defensively for South Carolina, what does that look like? Do you think that they have a good chance to slow Georgia down? Because we do have some question marks at quarterback. We got, a lot of new receivers. McConkey's out. Do you think they have a chance to slow us down? Secondly, we're about to get into score prediction, so I do want to get your score prediction after that. And then lastly, on Saturday at 3:30, where will you be? Where are you watching the game?
All right. I'll go backwards and front. So okay. I'm going to be there. I'll be at the game. So I'm going to the game. Okay. Score. I think it'll be like 35-13. I think the Gamecocks will slow it down a little bit, and they'll see a little bit of a slow start. But I think UGA is going to pull away in the second, third, kind of like we've seen, and then it'll slow down a little bit in the fourth quarter. But I think they're going to hopefully play well for the first quarter and do pretty good. I don't think the defense is going to be able to stay up with them the whole time. But I have not been crazy impressed with Carson Beck yet. I mean, I think that he needs to come out and make a little bit of
shots fired.
He's a lot better than I would be. But I think that and I'm not a football expert, so some of that may be kind of listening to y'all talk. A little bit of the play calling, maybe just taking it a little bit easy, not trying to show too much. And so maybe we'll see some more stuff in the South Carolina game. But yeah, that's it.
All right, man. So listen,
let me join.
Hey, no problem. We appreciate you coming on, man, again before we start our score predictions, for coming on and talking about Creature Comforts and the good y'all doing in the community. Definitely would love to have you and Fenwick back on at some point during the season, man. And like I say, looking forward to this Friday at Creature Comforts Tap Room in Athens, 271 West Hancock Avenue from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. And then after that, Chris has said, Harry Daw's going to be there. They're going to have the alumni red coat band. You got a chance to win 2 tickets to the game. So make sure you come out for the show and stay for the party.
I thought he was going to say you got 2 chain coming up.
The gloves are coming off after 5 o'clock, baby.
All right, man.
All right, there it is.
So
Thanks,
listen,
Coach.
man, 27-point favorites. The Dogs are over South Carolina
really?
this Saturday. Yeah, it was 26.5. It moved to 27. So we're gonna start with Cool Cal, man. Cool Cal, give us your score prediction, my man.
I think we're gonna open it up a little bit. Obviously, we're gonna show a few things. I'm thinking something like 38-7.
38-7. That's a 38-7, not quite covering. Actually, that is covering 31 points. My bad. Hey, my bad. It was slow on the math there. All right. So we got one cover from Cool Cal. Thad, what you got on that score prediction, man?
I like 34-10.
34-10, not covering that spread. I like that score as well. E-Rob, what you got on that 27-point favorite in this game Saturday?
Yeah, as I tabulate things up, I'm looking at about 45-9.
45-9, covering the spread with ease. All right, CA, what you got on the score prediction, man?
Man, you supposed to been call me. I keep telling you, keep me away from E-Rob. I got 45-10. I wrote it down like I did something. He gonna jump 45-9. 45-10. 45-10. I stand on there. They gonna get that extra point, and I'm gonna hate it, but I'm gonna need it.
I got you. I got 42-17 because they're gonna get a late touchdown. It'll be 42-10. They'll get like a little late touchdown to say they scored 17 because that's what they did last time.
10.
So yeah. So Shelby says 37-6. 37-6. She say 2 field goals. They're not touching the end zone. That's what she said.
Okay, I like it.
All right, and while we're doing the score stat guide, the South Carolina fan, Chris says, "Who are you pulling for Saturday?"
I'll be wearing my Gamecock gear. I'll be there.
Chris said he's pulling for business.
I was there, yeah. I'll be okay either way, I guess. But I'll be dressed like Gamecock. I was there last time the Gamecocks beat Georgia in this lovely stadium. So I don't know that I see it happening, but I didn't see it happening that day either. So
there it is.
So tell the truth. No, hold on, real quick, Coach. So real quick. So no. You trying to stay on the fence? I want to know if they do win the game. You're in the stadium. Are you cheering? Are you going crazy? Or are you kind of like being cool? What's going on?
He's
Let's
going
say they
crazy.
do pull off the upset. Come on,
no, I'll be excited. Last time it was so quiet when we were leaving, and when we won, when the game won. everybody seems so sad. I didn't want to rub it in anymore. You know, people
you see real pain. You know that's real pain. We're going to come up there and drink that pain away. So you got to be humble.
This might not be the time to talk a bunch of trash.
Where's the bar?
Hey, that's right, man. You gotta know when to hold them, when to fold them, man.
He just like, come this way.
Again, okay, my guy Ben Shaw gets in with 48-6. Another prediction for either a missed field goal or two after a mixed extra point or 2 field goals. So everybody pretty much picking the Dogs to win. We hope that is the way it goes. Definitely want to shout out to Chris Herron and Fenwick Broyard for coming on from Creature Conference, man, CEO and VP, man, for joining us tonight. And we look forward to seeing you on Friday. Listen, y'all, don't forget, pull up on us. Respect the Hedges is on the road. We live on location at Creature Conference Brewery Tap Room in Athens, 271 West Hancock Avenue, from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. live, man. And then y'all can stay and try to win some tickets while you drink the brew. All right. So anybody else got any parting thoughts before we get up out of here?
Yeah, I want to put a little bit more pressure on Chris before we go, because part of this is business. So, Chris, this is what I want to know. You being a South Carolina fan, you don't seen a lot of change in South Carolina. So, with that being said, Beamer has, it's been a bumpy road. It's been a few good little, times here and there. But let me ask you this: is he the guy to take your program to the next level?
Great question.
That is a great question. I think he has the opportunity to do it. I remember when Dabo got the job at Clemson, and it was like, what? Who? Like, I was so excited. And we won 5 in a row, like basically after that. But then he turned it around slowly but surely. I think he's a good recruiter, which is important for us because we're trying to recruit in the SEC. I think the kids like him, and he creates a bunch of excitement. He's going to have to fill his team out with the right people, and I think if he can get the coaching staff filled out, I think he's the right leader. I think he has the potential to do it. So yeah, I'm hoping we get back to some of them Jadeveon Clowney, Marcus Lattimore days. Get back to.
And you got Nicholas Harbor this year.
Do what?
You got Nicholas Harbor this past year. He was one of the top recruits in the nation.
Yeah,
he's big.
So I think it's going to take a little bit of time, but I'm very excited. Hey, I'm happier with him than I was, Mr. Will Muschamp.
Okay, that's fine. Okay,
we appreciate it.
We
definitely appreciate it.
We will remind him on Saturday. You said that. That does matter.
Bulletin board. That
was ironclad. We appreciate that.
Yeah. So definitely, again, thank you for everybody in the comments for showing up.
Thanks,
like
Chris.
y'all always do, man.
Absolutely,
Again, Friday at Creature Conference Brewery in Athens from 3 to 5, man. Hey, man, for Chris Herron, Creature Conference, Fenwick, CA, E-Rob, Thad, Cool Cal, I'm Coach I. This is Respect the Hedges, and always go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
That's right.